So instead of purchasing a property in the US, a lot of people are actually selling off this property and moving abroad because this property in the US isn't really getting you anything other than high taxation. Property taxes could cost you anywhere from 5,000 bucks to 10,000 bucks. It's not only paying high federal taxes, you have state taxes to complicate matters on top of that in most cases, and then you have all these heavy property taxes. So it's absolutely insane. Plus, the level of crime is just increasing. And what's particularly, crime is fine, right? Crime happens a lot in the US. But what's particularly very alarming and it's very concerning is that property theft, property scams, and property crimes are on the rise. If you look at some popular states like New York, Florida, a recent case where a simple quit claim deed in 5 minutes could steal someone's property. So thieves go to the county, it takes 5 minutes to literally transfer the property, but once they're caught, to get it reversed, it takes months and months of your time. It's absolutely ridiculous. And there's no penalty to the state for doing this delay. It's all your fault. And you don't earn anything in return, right? It's just paying for those high mortgages. And overall, there's lack of good life. The quality of life is affected. And that is the reason why people are looking to purchase a property abroad. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss 6 countries where purchasing a property could get you citizenship. So you're getting a property at the fraction of the cost. So you're going to stop paying those mortgage payments. You're looking at really low property taxes. And plus, at the end of it, you're going to get a dual nationality, or you could apply for dual nationality through that investment. So making that property purchase is not just getting one benefit, it's getting multiple benefits for you and your family. But before we get started with all these exotic, important, and valuable countries, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure to turn on the bell notification and subscribe so you don't miss out on any important programs that come up, because I constantly keep reporting any changes or launch of any programs. And at any point during this video, if you are interested in any one option, we have attorneys in all these places. We can immediately discuss and get you started with one or more of these options. Number one on this list is the beautiful country of Panama. It's getting safer. In some instances, I think this is safer than the US. It uses the same currency, the US dollar, and simply purchasing a property for 300K USD. It could be a beach facing villa, a condo, whatever kind of property you want to personally live or you want to rent it out. It does not matter. In 30 days, you get a VIP permanent residency in Panama, and this is a lifelong dateless permanent residency. So unless you lose this, you really aren't seeing immigration again. So this is a huge benefit by simply purchasing a property. Of course, citizenship will happen after a certain time. So you keep this property for 5 years. You do the minimum physical presence, and then you can apply for the Panamanian citizenship at the end of this. But having this property in Panama gets you immediate permanent residency. The second option, and I'm going to discuss 3 more options in Latin America where buying a property could lead to citizenship. I'm going to discuss an option in EU, where again, there is an indirect way of purchasing a property that could get you a citizenship. And then I'm also going to discuss a non-EU European option where you could get a citizenship. So the second on this list is Paraguay, and you can get a direct permanent residency through property purchase. And yes, a lot of people who follow Paraguay on my channel would get shocked. There is an option, and this is through 75K USD minimum, right? So you put this, you buy this property instead of buying this on your name. You're going to buy this property under a business name, and because you're moving 75K over to Paraguay, and you don't have to do this immediate, right? So you get the permanent residency first, and then over the next few years, maybe in the next 10 years, you can purchase that property of $75,000, and you get the permanent residency. You can keep this before your citizenship, right? The previous 3 years, you do 6 months, 6 months, and 6 months. That's the physical commitment. You keep the property, you keep the citizenship. So it's really a no-brainer. And Paraguay is a territorial tax system. So once you make this investment, you're cutting your ties with the worldwide system, right? If you're from the US, things are very different. You got to consider the CBT, but there's foreign income exclusion that you can benefit from. Obviously, the filing requirement does not go, but you can use Paraguay as that territorial system. And then on top of that, it's a 9% taxation, right? So that you can benefit from. The third on this list is everyone's favorite, the most popular option. It's Mexico, where you purchase a property for 375K USD. You immediately qualify for a residency. And once you keep the residency after 5 years, you can apply for citizenship. This is one of the most flexible options with one of the most powerful passports, because here for the first 3 years there's no real physical commitment. In the final 2 years you're looking at that 18 months of physical presence in the country, and then you not only keep this beautiful property, maybe you're renting it, earning money, but on the side, you're going to earn the nationality by doing all the proper due diligence required for this process. The fourth on the list is Ecuador. You purchase a property worth 43,000 USD. In Ecuador, you immediately qualify for a temporary residency. This does not have minimum physical presence. Of course, there's some commitment if you want to convert this into permanent. And then for citizenship, you're looking at a year plus 1 day of time. And you heard that right. It's 6 months, 6 months. Let's you do this back to back. And then in your final year, you're looking at a single day of physical presence in Ecuador to then apply for your nationality. So these are 4 good options in Latin Americas. Now let's switch gears and let's move to Europe, EU, right? And in EU, the best option, and this is one of the best deals in the world, which is the Portugal option. And a lot of people will get shocked and surprised at this point. Hey, the property deals are over in Portugal, but there is an indirect legal hack where we work with one of the topmost brand names in Portugal. It's a hoteling, resort, spa style of brand. So they do give you an option of investing in a fund, right? So you put in 300K euros. The developer can put in up to 100K euros. You retain this money. So this is actually your profit that they're paying you on day one. Apart from that, then you are also eligible for a mortgage, a no questions asked mortgage. So you get this. So you make the total 500K euros. At this time, you can utilize the facility, right? So they give you their assigned premium apartment to you and your family. You can utilize this like a timeshare thing for a couple of months every year. So yes, you have the 7 days of minimum physical presence required each year to acquire nationality after 5 years. So that Portuguese passport is an EU passport. It's one of the strongest in the world. So you cannot go wrong as far as the nationality is concerned. So once you hit the 5-year mark, you have this 500 sitting, right? 100K of mortgage, 100K of profit, 300K from your own personal account. So once you hit the 5-year mark, you can either get the 400K back, which is 300 plus 100K of profit, or you can purchase that apartment that you were utilizing, right? And that price of that apartment is locked 5 years before. And because you're hitting the 5-year mark, you've released yourself from the golden visa, you have a direct option of purchasing that same property if you wish to. If not, whatever makes sense, right? So if the property valuation has doubled, it makes sense to grab the property. So you retain that. If you don't like that deal, then obviously you have your money back. So indirectly, it's not a direct property purchase, but indirectly, effectively, you're using the same vehicle. Legally, you're structuring this so that you're satisfying the citizenship requirements. You're getting the passport for almost free, but then also you have that opportunity of your Portugal property, which you're already using each year, and eventually you can make it yours. So that's the 5th option. The 6th option is a non-EU country, and there are a couple of options here. Actually, let me say it's not 6, it's 7. So first on the list is Serbia. The reason why I'm mentioning Serbia is because it also has something called citizenship by exception. This video is not about exceptions. I'm not going to discuss that. That I have covered in a separate video, the criteria and the requirements and who this is good for. But here, let's talk about the property. So this could be a property of any value. So let's say you want to buy a property for 10,000. I mean, let's not say 10,000. Let's be real, right? So you purchase an apartment for 25, 30, $40,000. The amount does not matter. As long as you're able to live in this property, you purchase this property, you immediately qualify for a residency in Serbia. You keep the residency for 3 years, and then you can apply for your permanent residency. And then, of course, you can file your citizenship application. And in the meanwhile, let's say someone wants to file for that exception criteria. Again, you satisfy some requirements, you have the skill set, you're benefiting the society, you feel it's a good option. You can always try the exception route. If that succeeds, then you have a direct path. You immediately can qualify for citizenship. But let's say the exception does not succeed, then you always have this plan B where you have the property, you have the residence, you can still go the normal route and then apply for your citizenship at the end. And finally, I think another important country in that region is Georgia. In Georgia, you can make an investment of 100K USD, right? If you make that investment, you can immediately qualify for a temporary residency. If you make an investment of 300K USD, you can immediately qualify yourself for a permanent residency. Now, there is a wait time here, right? After 7 years in Georgia, you could apply for citizenship. So what are the best property investment options on this list? I think number one is the Portugal option. The Portugal Golden Visa still shines. That's a beautiful option. The second, I think, on this list is the Panama option. Now, when it comes to Mexico, that's a no-brainer, but there are other categories where you don't do the property investment and you still qualify for Mexico. The biggest advantage with Mexico is that with us, you can get the residency card. You can do the process in a single day, and I've been covering this and I've been helping a lot of my clients. So if you are interested in learning what that is, you can always take a look at this video. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. Which is the best property investment deal out of this list? And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up, make sure you're subbed, and catch you in the next one.